Yeah, another video, but this one may be of real interest to you and something you may want to fill out. There is a survey out now for super experiencers. It's being put out by I believe, the California Institute for Human Sciences, and that's what I'm going to be talking about here. About 2 weeks ago or so, Jeffrey Mishlove interviewed a gentleman, Sean Ishborn Hargens, and I'm sorry that I'm pronouncing it wrong. I know I am. And he is, I believe, with the California Institute of Human Sciences and something to do with the Institute of Noetic Sciences. This is him right here. There's his name, Sean Ishborn Hargens, and the title is Super Experiencers. And it's on Jeffrey Mishlove's New Thinking Aloud. It's almost an hour long. Great interview. I loved it. And it may interest you if you believe you are a super experiencer. What he calls a super experiencer is someone who has had 4 or more anomalous things happen. One anomalous event might be a psychic event, or a UFO event, or a near-death experience event. And he's got a whole list out there on this survey. If you've had 4 or more of these types, then you may be a super experiencer. Should take 10 to 20 minutes to complete per the website. It took me 2 hours because I'm henpecking on my tablet with one finger, trying to complete sentences without too many spelling errors. Plus, I clicked off almost every single thing he had listed on there. The only one that's questionable for me is the near-death experience, because in that heading, on that line, he also has the word clinical with it. Almost like he's only interested in near-death experiences if you've had a clinical diagnosis of death and then you came back. I don't have that. I've had this near-death experience, but I was out in, I was out in these logging woods when something happened. My memory is very fragmented. I can't remember what happened, but there's this memory of this near-death experience, and then the feeling that I felt for it hurt to be in existence on this plane of existence. It hurt just to be here after that, and it lasted for years. And I've heard other people that have clinical near-death experiences talk about it in the same fashion. And some of the same things I saw and felt, they've talked about the same exact thing. And it's like, well, maybe that was a near-death experiences, but I don't have clinical documentation of that. I did put a bullet point under there and talked about it, that I don't have that clinical diagnosis or anything like that. But everything else, yeah. Now, for the, let me go back some. That's the part that may interest you. I'm going to put a link below to Jeffrey Mishlove's video. Please click on it, check it out. I'm not putting a link to the survey. It's probably more important that you get it from Jeffrey's site, so you have an opportunity to watch that video to really understand what they're talking about. And then you can look in Jeffrey's video description box and click the survey link from there. Again, he's trying, I think I've said this before, but he's trying to get 5,000 worldwide. He's just put this out here recently, but trying to collect 5,000 of them to review. And it's going to take him 1.5 years to get everything together and all this kind of stuff. So please check it out. You may be a super experiencer, and you may want to complete the survey. And at least since it's coming, I don't know anything about this gentleman. I don't know anything about the California Institute of Human Sciences, but I'm familiar with Jeffrey Mishlove, and he's legitimate. I mean, way legitimate. And this gentleman seems pretty legitimate. So I'm not worried about this being a scam of any sort. Normally, I would never fill out a survey for anything, but stuff started happening. Synchronicities started happening watching this video and even reading the description box. I'll get into that in just a minute. Okay? So this part, check it out. You may be a super experiencer and want to complete the survey. Moving that to the side now. Several months ago, BitChute upgraded its user interface. So those of you who have been watching my videos or seen my videos, you've probably noticed by now that the general videos and the country boy videos are gone. I removed them. There were over 500 videos on this video site, and those were interspersed with all the strange happenings. The reason I created the video site was for the strange happenings. I had to. End of 2019, I kept getting this message in my head: it's time, put videos out of your experiences, do it now. So I had to, and that's why I created the site, was for that. But it became burdensome with all these extraneous videos out there with country boy in general. Now, some of the strange happening stuff did get removed because I just talk. Like in one of the general ones, I talk about the metal sculpting class, metal artwork class that I took, trying to do arc welding, welding with electricity. And me and electricity don't get along sometimes, and I really didn't get along with it. I kept getting shocked, and the professor would take over, sit down exactly to the exact same thing I was, and everything's fine, everything's perfect the way it should be, and it doesn't work for me because it just kept coming to me. And the professor agreed that I could never have a career as a welder, electric welder, because something's happening and he doesn't understand. So I couldn't do it. And that kind of thing is thrown out, and I'm not doing other videos on that. So any little extraneous things I talk about like that is gone. And not gone, but I've saved those videos on a hard drive, but they won't be here on this site anymore. In some of my videos, I do say, click the About tab. Now, the About tab will show you when I created the video site, but there are no longer playlists there. They've restructured the site. There's a playlist button somewhere on your device that you can click. But when I, in old videos, talk about click the About button for my playlist, well, it's not there anymore because of the whole user interface upgrade. Something else I've noticed is sometimes my videos will not have a play button. I can't click the video to play it. And then I'll come back later and it appears. I think it's just my tablet's so old it can't handle the upgrade. So hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but all the videos are still there, but sometimes the play button isn't, and I don't know what's going on. It's probably just my tablet. Another one of the line items, or in the discussion that they have on this video, is talking about synchronicities. And people who have sometimes had a synchronicity or 2 or 3 or 4. I'm just like, this is every day for me, okay, people? This is every day. It's all the time, even watching this particular video with Jeffrey Mishlove, and Sean is Warren Hargens, sorry, mispronouncing, and even reading the description box. Because in the video, they start talking about the PK man, PK for psychokinesis, this gentleman named Ted Owens that Jeffrey Mishlove had done a study on, and they considered him a super experiencer. And I have some videos out here. I'm holding up the book, The PK Man, and the videos I have out here give reasons why. It's because I'm like Ted Owens, and if they consider him a super experiencer, I guess they might consider me a super experiencer. So it's kind of like pushing me to fill out the survey. Also, with this video coming out and the survey coming out, it's like, well, I just streamlined my videos for strange happenings, almost like it was meant to be, taking away all the burdensome things that you don't need to see for this kind of survey. And now it's all streamlined just for strange happenings, this kind of stuff. It's good timing, I guess, just good timing. And then I read the description box. Oh, well, he co-edited a book called Dancing with Sophia. And he did this November of 2019. He co-edited a book called Dancing with Sophia. And I just did that video reading The Pista Sophia, finished reading it, and he edited a book called Dancing with Sophia. That's kind of funny. That's kind of a neat little coincidence. And then wait, he edited it in 2019. And if you click the About tab on my videos, you'll see I created this entire video site November of 2019, the same month and year that he co-edited this book, Dancing with Sophia. And there's my video talking about Sophia. And he co-edited it, and it just made this circle. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, these synchronicities are happening with this video and this guy and this description. So it's like, fine. It's just weird. So it's like, okay, fine. I will complete the survey. I spent 2 hours completing the survey. And again, one of the reasons it took me 2 hours to complete the survey is because under like psychic, in parentheses beside it, they had like clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and whatever else they are. I mean, I'm not an expert, people. I just experience things, okay? I'm not an expert. I talked about shared dreaming. Have you ever, you and another person shared a dream, the exact dream? It's like, well, yeah, I did that with Charles in college, and we both stopped because we're guys, and you know where your dreams go to, kind of thing. So yeah, precognition. Well, yeah. So I had to do bullet points. I go to psychic, and they wanted a description, so I had to do bullet points on every one that he listed. It's like I'm only going to talk about the ones that he put there in black and white. I'm not going any further than that. But still, it was bullet points and try to explain at least one instance of each thing. At least the good thing with me, like with precognition, I was able to link to one of my videos I have out here. I linked specifically to the one related to the Davenport, Iowa building collapse on May 28th. I believe it was 2023. That building collapse. It's 2023? 2024? I don't know. May 28th, whenever it was. It's out there. Anyway, the thing is, I felt it for a week before, and I actually posted the video on May 27th. Not only hearing the screaming in my head, seeing it in my mind, smelling the dust in the air, tasting it in my throat, and the fuzz on my teeth. It was that strong, and that happened. I posted the video May 27th, and the building collapsed May 28th. So I'm able to prove in a couple of instances some of this stuff just real quick in a survey. The problem with the upgraded user interface on BitChute is they remove the actual posting dates and have a general 1 month ago, 4 months ago, 1 year ago, 4 years ago, posted 1 year ago. But I discovered that with the touch screen, I can at least press where it says 1 year and posted 1 year ago. I can press the 1 year, and it actually does a pop-up bubble with the actual posting date. So it's still there. They didn't get rid of the posting date. It's just hidden behind an action. So you have to press posted the date, the month or year they put there 1 year ago, 4 months ago. You have to press it, and it does a pop-up bubble and has the actual posting date there still. But I wish they would have just left it straight up there, but they didn't. But that's what took me so long too, is under all of it, trying to give examples of each one. And then they wanted to know how many of each one you had. Like, have you had one anomalous experience with a UFO? Or one anomalous experience with psychic. So on a lot of these, I just put greater than 20 as a default. And I did put that in a comment. I said, I've just defaulted to greater than 20 because it's just a lifetime of this kind of stuff. It's not just one or two. It's existence. It's the way I exist. It just is. So I defaulted to greater than 20, and then I tried to do bullet points on a lot of the different things down there. And I included a link to this video site. If they ever decide to read it or interested, it'll be out there. But that's really what I wanted to put out here for you, is there's now and I know Jeffrey Mishlove is legitimate. It seems like this guy is legitimate. I mean, I don't know anything about the California Institute for Human Science. I don't know anything about that, but there's a website. But Jeffrey's legitimate, and all the people he has on are very legitimate people, very good conversations. And this guy's got to be legitimate. Otherwise, I never would have completed that survey. So I'm not worried about it being a scam. I don't know. It could be just a way for people to make money and maybe to get people to come to classes or online classes, spend money on them. I don't know about any of that kind of stuff, and I don't do any of that kind of stuff. But if they're just looking for experiencers and trying to do a survey, trying to figure out what's what, and maybe I could help and fill out a survey. And please check out Jeffrey Mishlove's video. I'll have a link below in the description box if you're interested. Check out the video and perhaps complete the survey. It's up to you, but it's there and available if you might be a super experiencer.